Black Ops 4 is my favorite zombies. If you've watched some of my videos, you know that. But even with those that don't particularly care for the game, even they will concede that they like some of, or all of the Chaos maps. And they are regarded as the highlight of the mode, as they really go all out in the visual and creativity department. Something we've sorely been missing as of late. But these maps have an issue. One that even those who love BO4 like myself will not defend. The Catalyst zombies. For those not in the know, what these things are essentially elemental zombies that spawn in during regular rounds like any other. They aren't considered boss zombies, but rather enhanced zombies like Nova Crawlers or electric zombies. So unlike the dogs on higher rounds where only a set number can spawn in every so often, these things have no cap on them. Meaning that if the rounds get high enough and their frequency starts to increase, you could potentially get a whole horde of these things, which can be an absolute disaster depending on what type it is. But that's not even the most irritating part of them, as most players don't go to super high rounds. No, the irritating part is that these things spawn out of normal zombies, meaning they can spawn anytime, any place, and anywhere. Which just sucks when you don't want them to. They will just pop out and begin harassing you. The only way to deal with them easily is quickly shoot the zombie they're spawning out of before they fully emerge. When you have an enemy like this that can just show up with no warning, it becomes a bad guessing game of when the next time they'll strike is. There are 4 types of Catalyst zombies: poison, fire, water, and electric. Let's take it from the top, from least annoying to most terrible. The electric zombies are the only ones that I would say work fine within the game's meta. They simply run fast towards you and shoot a non-lethal, slow-moving wave of electricity that, if touched, will blind your screen for however long you stand in it. They don't take very many shots to kill and are easily avoidable if you have good game sense, awareness, or reaction time. They function almost identically to the Shrieker zombie from Shangri-La, and due to them being very bright and colorful, they're quite easy to see when they start coming at you. This is the only Catalyst that is alright, and not a major problem to the game flow. It puts the job on the player to look out, but doesn't punish them too much for failing to do so. The poison zombie is far less fun and really messes with the core mechanics of BO4 more than you might think. How they work is they have a cloud of poisonous gas around them that constantly does a very tiny area of effect damage. Now, the issue with this is BO4's health system. I've shown before how the game's reduced hit speed, shield, and armor mechanics actually make it slower for you to go down than BO3. But these poison zombies start to mess with that, as their small damage over time stops health regeneration, which is far slower than before. What this means is even if a minuscule amount of the poison touches you, your health regen is on cooldown. So Winter's Wail will immediately activate if a zombie hits you, just once if you've been poisoned. The poison zombie would have actually fit a lot better in a game with faster health regeneration or more health in general. This is an enemy that would actually be better in a game like Cold War, Vanguard, or Modern Warfare Zombies, where it has a lot more player health and different armor mechanics. But in Black Ops 4, they're just an annoyance that don't serve well to the gameplay. But boy oh boy, the fire zombies are absolutely obnoxious. Much like the electric zombie was a form of the Shrieker from Shang, the fire zombie is the fire zombie from Shang brought back. But this here is the biggest and primest example on why one enemy works in one game and not another. In Shang, the fire zombies were slow-moving, exploding enemies that when got too close would red screen you with Jug. They had a very noticeable spawn-in animation, as well as character dialogue that would always play when they appeared on the map, no matter where they were in relation to the player. There could only be one on the map at a time. When exploded, they would leave behind a very helpful lingering fire that would kill any zombies that walked into it. But most notably, the fire zombie gave off an effect that when gotten close would show heat waves on your screen to let you know one was close or around a corner. Now, the fire zombies on the Chaos maps are a terrible reinterpretation of this enemy because of all the lost mechanics of the old one. First off, they do not emit the heat effect on your screen, which is a very bad lost feature here. You can be running around the map, turn a corner, and get blindsided by one of these things exploding on you. Secondly, they no longer leave behind the residual fire, so they are only a negative to the player. They do knock down nearby zombies when they explode, but if that explosion goes off while you're close, you're going to quickly turn around so the shield takes the impact. So you aren't even going to be looking at the zombies that get knocked down to take advantage of this. Not unless you shoot and kill the fire zombie yourself, which leads into the next big issue. These things have so much more health than your average zombie. Significantly more than the electric or poison. So they become just bullet sponges that waste your ammo, which isn't even worth shooting as, again, unlike the original, they don't leave behind the helpful fire. But all of that isn't even the worst part of them. No, it's the simple fact that they can spawn at any time. Because remember, they're a catalyst zombie, not a mini-boss like they were treated on Shang. They have no spawn rate cap. So you will eventually get into situations on high rounds, 9 specifically, where you can have hordes of fire zombies. Even on mid rounds, 2 will spawn in together at a time, and 1 is already enough to get you to a 2-hit down. 2 blowing up on you at the same time will insta-down you. The issue of the heat effect not being on your screen is only exemplified by this. It leads to awful, cheap downs that don't feel fair at all. An enemy that was perfectly fine in the previous version that was made way too broken in this interpretation. But they are absolutely nothing in comparison to the final Catalyst type. An absolutely repulsive enemy that should have never been made. One of the worst special zombies in all of Call of Duty. The Water Catalyst. Where do I even begin with this? The Water Zombie is truly unlike any other special type in all the games. Because, for one, it doesn't actually target the player. No, its function is far more irritating than that. Once it spawns in, it runs itself to the back of a horde, hiding in or running behind a horde of zombies. And every single zombie that it touches become infused with its water. This does 2 very, very, very horrible things. Give the zombies more health, and give the zombies more damage. The first time any zombie does more damage to the player, and this effect alone completely breaks BO4's game mechanics to an unbelievable degree. Instead of a single bar of health, a water-infected zombie hits for 1.5 bars of health. This can lead to the player being practically insta-downed by just 2 zombies in a couple seconds. We're talking BO3 levels of downing speed. The water-infected zombies' increased health is also something that completely messes with the health scaling to a degree I don't think many realize. To put this in perspective, these zombies get so much health that round 35 health cap zombies, when infected with water, will outlive being hit by the double pack abilities like Firebomb and Kilowatt. Either this was just never tested, or the devs really thought giving zombies this much health from an enemy that can spawn in extremely frequently was a good idea. Having a zombie type that does this much buffing to normal enemies is absolutely ridiculous. The games have had elements or enemies that give others slight buffs, but never like this. Never this much. And the worst part is just how annoying the water zombies themselves are to hit and kill before they completely ruin a horde for you. Their behavior of running away and hiding in the back of hordes is infuriating and obnoxious. And really, I can't think of a way to balance them. Oh wait, they already did. On Alpha Omega, the Nova Bombers do similar buffs to normal zombies that the water ghouls do. However, they aren't nearly as annoying, because you can actually kill them in just a few bullets. They only spawn in certain areas. They have a telegraphed ability that before they infect normal zombies, that you can stop, and the gas-infected zombies themselves don't do more damage to the player. They only have more health and movement. So the water zombies could have been actually balanced more to fit the game, and it's just a shame that they weren't. The idea of zombies doing more damage over time was a terrible idea, especially in a game like BO4 where the enemy speed and attack damage was set around a 4-hit down. But the water zombies totally ignored that, making them quite possibly the most annoying zombie type in all of COD Zombies. The catalysts are not remembered fondly, if at all. They never truly fit the game's mechanics, aesthetic, or game flow. They felt like gimmick enemies, put into the game for no other purpose than to be annoying and to get cheap and often unearned downs on the players. We've been stuck with the same enemies for the last 4 years now on repeat, over and over and over. And I find it surprising that the devs never bothered to try another go at elemental zombies, especially given the increased focus on ammo mods. If the catalysts or enemies like them were to be brought back and given clear, understandable, and effective weaknesses in the form of alternate ammo types, I think they could be reintroduced well. But again, it's all a matter of execution and adding things for the right reasons.